Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Joe with Cigar Accessories. Now, tonight's cigar is one of those sticks that's been on my radar for quite some time, just have not had a chance to get to it. But we're going to change that this evening with Perdomo's Reserve's 10th Anniversary Champagne. Stick around, guys. Reviews coming up. If you're new to this channel, enjoy cigar reviews and cigar-related artwork, consider clicking that subscribe button. Perdomo is one of those cigar brands I just don't smoke a whole lot of their sticks. They do make some great cigars. I used to smoke quite a bit back in the day. Wanted to venture out, try some of their newer cigars, or at least newer to me. And I stumbled across this guy in a local B&M, and just right off the shelf, it caught my attention. The thing that stands out the most about this cigar is it comes in this golden cellophane. It creates this golden allure of the cigar. And when you look at the cigar, it does have a nice golden wrapper on it as well. The cigar consists of an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. Now mine does have quite a bit of lumps and bumps and bangs all throughout, but it's definitely an elegant looking wrapper. The band on it is also gold. It's a little bit too much gold in my opinion. I think the problem with the colors of the band is they mesh too much with the colors of the wrapper, and it just blends where it just doesn't pop. It's definitely a cool looking band. I mean, when you step back and look at that band, the overall design of it, it definitely has a cool shape and design. Definitely a good looking stick. It's definitely one I'm curious about. So on that note, guys, let's cut the cigar up, light it up, and see how good it really is. Alright guys, it's taken me quite a few puffs to wrap my head around the flavors. The first problem is that retrohale for me is intense. Even as I'm speaking now, I can feel this pepper sensation just skating through my sinuses. However, it has died down a slight bit. A few minutes ago, I felt like it just kind of blew my sinuses completely out. It is a very sharp black pepper that you get in that retrohale. It is starting to smooth out some, but that is the majority of the flavors that I'm picking up. The flavors in the draw for me are mostly like a light tobacco, but there is a hint of sweetness. I'm glad that the pepper's starting to die back a little bit. It still needs to die back quite a bit more. I mean, it's definitely really intense. One that has my attention. Really curious about this one, so I'll keep working on it. Come back with another update shortly. So I'm not gonna lie, the first few puffs I took out of the cigar, I was pretty nervous about it. That retrohale was so intense, it was so sharp that it really took me out of smoke, and I thought, man, I'm in trouble here. This has turned out to be a very good tasting cigar. Now, granted, we're only a third through it, but 1/3 through it, just from those initial puffs, this thing's just changed dramatically. It's become a great tasting stick. The biggest characteristics I've taken away so far from this smoke is that it is extremely smooth. There are a lot of flavors going on here, and I took quite a bit of notes. As you can see here, I've filled up my notebook. Everything seems subtle. There's like this subtle sweetness that I get out of the smoke. There's these light, almost like a doughy type of taste to it. It's not a doughy texture. It's not thick or anything like that, but there's at times I got like a light doughy taste. At other times I picked up a light woodsy flavor, and the wood for me was more like a distinct unsweet cherry wood. So for me, the flavors, I think they're actually pretty impressive. That retrohale has died down considerably as far as the intensity of the spice goes. At first it was that very sharp black pepper spice. I don't pick up black pepper at all. Now in the beginning, there was so much of that black pepper spice, even the back of my throat started going numb. Now what I'm picking up is like a sweet spice. There is a little bit of a zing to it, but it seems like the zing is dying down with each puff. And overall, I have to say the flavors in this stick, they just blend well together. The retrohale and the draw just seem to merge well together. Definitely enjoying this one. Now, construction-wise, really no problems with this stick. The only issue I'm having is there is a slightly crooked burn, and I think I'm just nitpicking here. I get a really nice, solid, long ash on this stick. Smoke output is perfect. The draw is perfect. So yeah, 1/3 through it, no complaints. I'm definitely looking forward to see how this one transitions over the next two phases, so I'll keep working on it. Come back with another update shortly. Very smooth cigar. I mean, the flavors, they're pretty consistent. The key difference here is it's not as sweet as it was before, but it's still pretty much the same flavors I picked up. There is some sweet notes in there. They're just a little more subtle. But yeah, it's just an extremely smooth smoke in the cigar. And that retrohale for me now, I'm not picking up anything that's a bite in it. It's just a very smooth retrohale. It's a very smooth draw. Overall, definitely a very good tasty stick. The burn for me, it's still a tad bit wavy. I mean, it's really not that bad, but it is a little bit wavy. The ash on it, it's pretty solid. It's a little flaky in sections, but for the majority of it, it's a pretty solid ash, perfect smoke output, perfect draw. And the one thing I didn't mention about this cigar is this is the Robusto, so it's a 5x54. It feels like a fat cigar. It almost feels like a 60 ring gauge to me for some reason, but yeah, definitely an enjoyable smoke. It's one that is very mellow. It comes off pretty mild, but for some reason, it seems like it has a little bit of a punch to it. If I stand up too fast, I get a little dizzy. I think it's a sneaky cigar. I mean, you smoke on it and you think because it's so smooth and easy to smoke and the flavors are, you know, kind of that mellow, light type flavor to it. Seems like it's not going to have anything that has any strength to it, but for me, definitely feeling this stick. But yeah, overall, enjoying it. Really looking forward to see how this one finishes off. So I'll keep working on it. Come back with my final update shortly. Alright guys, end road on this one, and that pepper did return at that final third. It's not as intense, or it's nowhere near as intense as it was at the beginning of the smoke, but there is that peppery bite that I do get in that final section. In that final section, it was still very smooth, still very good flavors. It was a little bit drier though, a little bit more earthy, and overall still an excellent tasting stick. And I actually rated this cigar very high. I ended up giving this cigar a 93 out of 100 points. For the overall appearance, I gave this cigar 13 out of 15 points. For the flavors, 22 out of 24 points. The smoking characteristics, that's where I took off a few points just because I had issues with the burn. But yeah, overall, I ended up still scoring it a 19 out of 21 points. The price of this stick, you can pick up this cigar from anywhere between about $7.80 to a little over $8. Definitely well worth that price. I gave it 4 out of 4 points there. And for my overall smoking characteristics, I gave it 35 out of 36 points. So yeah, for a 93 rated cigar, excellent stick. Definitely one I highly recommend. It's one of those cigars, like I said, it's smooth, it's mellow, but it is a little tricky. It does bite you a little bit, but nothing that takes you out of smoke. Overall, a very enjoyable stick. Now, if you've had this cigar before, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys on the next review.